some peanuts. I know, guys, it's been a few weeks, probably almost a month, or more than a month. I don't know, something like that. Something like that. Whew, I was gone for a bit, but I'm back, right? Talk some shit, talk a little bit of everything. Share some stories with people who can identify it, right? Not with me, but with my experiences, right? Whew, it's just crazy, right? So, I have to say that when do you know you have hit rock bottom? I'm gonna start like that, straight up. How do you know you hit rock bottom? Is because you have fall into the worshiping of a god. In other words, you follow a religion, right? Period. This is when, as a man, you have lost your balls, you have lost your common sense, you have given away the most precious thing, autonomy. Yeah. So you're going to have certain interesting people saying, so what did you suggest, Alex, to follow myself? Like, why do you need to follow somebody? No, I understand that internet, social platforms, they're designed, right, to subscribers, for subscribers, how many followers you have. But isn't that telling you the whole fucking scheme of things, that this is already set up to put you down? Not up, but down, right? Why? Because now you are a follower, right? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about religion. Just for a few people who were a little bit curious what was going on with me. Well, I was going through some legal matters, and everything is great, right? I am 100% released from all the little legal matters, right? That were disturbing my path. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so religion. Okay, first of all, what is religion, right? Take the word, these two letters, R and E, re. What is legion, right? It comes from back in the day, a Latin word that represents many, an army, okay? People with authority, overwhelm, okay? Outnumber from these people, okay? So doesn't that tell you something, that to follow religion or to think that you are part of a religion means that you want to be part of a number, okay? Why? Because you think you alone are not sufficient, right? And I know it gets scary. It gets scary for people who haven't walked the path a little bit, the rocky one, the bumpy one, right? So it's easy to follow a religion. Why? Because we were taught that. You know, I have parents, they would get on their knees and force, "What's up, dog?" They would get on their knees and force and say, you know, this is the way to life. And when you're a kid, right? You're a kid. And when you're a kid, you question everything, okay? That's one of the things that you need to stop for a second and introspect. Say, when I was a little kid, I will question everything, right? even though you will irritate people. What's this? What's that? I'm telling you, because my son, everything I do, everything I say, everything I move, he wants to know why and the reason I'm doing it. And I breathe it out. I'm like, God damn. But then I say, he's a genius, right? Right? He's questioning me. He's questioning everything that I'm doing, everything, right? And that's a good quality, good trait to have as a man, as a human being. Why? Because now you are not in control by other people. You're not controlled by other people, I mean, right? So you are aware of your own influence. I'm not hating on religion. I'm not, honestly. But there's a big problem with it, okay? And we're seeing it today, okay? We're seeing it in anything. You guys want to ask me, okay, what about this? I will tell you it's a religion matter. It's a religion issue, okay? The Strait of Hormuz is a religion issue. The oil is a religion issue. The Tate brothers is a religion issue. Huh? The Epstein files is a religion issue. We could go on and on and on, and it has nothing to do with nothing but religion. Right? Religion. So people are going to say, well, I think it's politicians. Okay, it's politics. Politics, if you guys don't know a little bit of history, but you can't believe everything in history, though, at the end of the day. But if you can take a look at what's happening right now, it's what's happening back in the day. Okay, so people like me who are skeptical, right? We fucking wanna scrutinize everything. We want to know, how can we believe history is true? Well, to believe history, you need to look at what's happening now. Okay, that's the fastest way to know history. Not to read books, but to know what's happening now. Geographical first, okay? And then race, okay? Then race. And I know people get on their feelings when people start talking about race, right? It's a taboo. People don't want to talk about it. But if I tell you, that's the only topic that's going to bring you knowledge about everything, okay? So when people want to argue about me, co-workers, friends, family, that being racist is not a good thing, right? It was not a bad thing either, right? So what I'm interested. I'm literally curious. When you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you want to buy some clothes, some shoes, right? You just don't go anywhere, right? You just don't random pick a store and then you're gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna buy this, whatever, okay? I'm not roll the dice, I'm gonna buy this. No, right? You like certain brands because they have a style of what they do, right? There's a certain vehicle that you like because it's built, manufactured in a certain way, okay? There's a certain color that goes with your style, with your personality, with your like, okay? So it's the same with people. There's a reason why certain people look how they look, okay? And when you start ignoring that kind of stuff, you're ignoring knowledge, and then you become a stupid, dumb motherfucker. Because then anytime you want to talk about something, you're scared, right? Because people automatically want to attack you that you're being racist, right? You're being a white supremacist, a leftist, a right. So that's why I'm here, to tell you, for the few guys who are not scared to speak their mind once in a while, that religion, okay, doesn't solve problems, okay? It makes more. I said it. I'm going to repeat it again. Religion doesn't solve problems. It makes more, okay? It's the goof of all time. It's just a goofy thing. You never get to the truth. You have an emotional roller coaster with religion, but you never go to the truth, right? Because whatever is written on books, right, it's based on interpretation, okay? And if it's based on interpretation, then there's men involved, okay? And everybody has different experiences, right? Everybody has different background, race, ages, and so on, gender, okay? And why am I talking about this? Because nobody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about the president, about politics, about the world going to ruins because of hate, right? And we think religion solves the problem. We think love solves the problem because religion preaches love, okay? But actually what religion conveys in a very indirect, subtle way, it's hate, okay? Not love. They say they promote love, but they actually promote hate, okay? And it's not that it's evil or good. It's just a little game to make people, right, not think for themselves, okay? Anytime I'm having a conversation with somebody, okay, and they want to have a dialogue with me or other people, and they want to bring their religion, and I'll always ask something, right? Were you there when this started? Were you there when this cult, religion, initiated? No, I wasn't. Okay, so you don't know exactly what was taught, right? From the first day that religion or cult or movement or spiritual movement did, okay? You were not there, okay? You're just reading and participated in something that you don't know how it started. And that only brings more confusion and more ignorance and more stupidity, right? You don't have to follow nobody. That doesn't mean you don't have to listen to nobody. That's very different things. One of my sons tried to have a little argument, but I was just having a conversation with him. Like, if you don't believe in God, like, why do you have to bring that concept first? Okay? If you don't believe in God, if you already have that question, that means somebody put it in your mind. Okay? Because at the end of the day, the first question that literally everybody should have is like, who am I? Okay? Not if there's a God or there's no God. Who am I? I'm here. What am I supposed to do? Okay? So then after that, you start experiencing life because you know you have a body, you're in a physical body, you're a physical being, and you start doing things, right? Trial and error, failure, of course, it's just normal. It's normal, okay? But religion, okay, it's not bad if you don't believe in it, okay? Just like me. I'm not afraid to go, right, to a synagogue. I'm not afraid to go to a temple. I'm not afraid to go to a church. I'm not afraid to go anywhere, right, where they're preaching about a God. I'm not. Matter of fact, I enjoy it because at the end of the day, all experience is currency, it's knowledge, okay, that is gonna benefit you in one way or another. But so what's the difference, Alex? What's the difference? It's your approach. If I'm invited to a synagogue, I'm invited to church, it's not that I'm gonna meet God over there. My approach is that I'm gonna meet people over there. I said it before. I keep repeating it because that's the truth. That's knowledge that you cannot evade, you cannot ignore. Okay? Why religion is so powerful is not because God, it's because people. Okay? The more people you have in a place, the higher the vibration. Okay? The more emotion of waves and energy you have, all right, to control, to encounter, to feel, maneuver, dictate, manipulate, whatever you want to do. Okay? It's easy to manipulate more than one people than one. I'm going to repeat it again. It's easier to manipulate people in masses than as an individual. Always, right? Why? Whenever you want to manipulate somebody, you want to persuade somebody, you want to influence somebody to do something. If he's alone, he's going to have the time to think more about it. But if he's around people, for some reason he feels shame or guilt, right? That he's questioning your opinions, your thoughts, right? So people always suffer from self-esteem, and self-esteem is that you're not enough. That's why you have to worship something else. This is not that you have to worship yourself. You don't have to worship nothing. Okay? You don't have to worship nothing. You don't even have to worship life. Okay? Life is used. Okay? It's energy. You use it. You create, you move, you manifest. It's momentum. Okay? Worshiping, you stop life. You stop life to look for another life. And that's denying life in itself. That's why it's bad. That's why we are confronting, right, and living in these moments. Not because of oil, inflation. It's all about religion. Everything. Everything. From Zionist, Jewish, Islam, Christianity, Catholic, Hindus, you name it. Everything is a religion matter. Everything. Everything is a religion matter. Everything. The sooner you acknowledge this, the faster you're going to experience life, true freedom. Okay? Nobody likes being enforced. Nobody likes being on their knees with their head down, mumbling, rumbling words to something that you don't see. Everybody gets annoyed, but they don't recognize it. How do you feel when you talk to somebody, he ignores you? That's exactly what happens with religion. Okay? They keep telling us that if you talk to God, he responds. But the government, people in higher power, they know that if that was the truth, they will get rid of religion. Because if there was a God and he was answering to you, then he will give you answers. How to be successful, all right? How to go around evil people, and how to live life. And religious leaders and people in higher up, actually, they don't want that. That's why they encourage religion, because they know that answers don't come from religion. Okay? They don't. They don't come. They don't. But we're living in challenging times. I know it. It's challenging times because sometimes we don't know where to start, right? Like, okay, If I don't follow religion, then I'm on my own. And that's a beautiful thing if you're on your own, right? Because you have your own brain, you have your own body, okay? You have your own time frame, you have your own thoughts, autonomy, okay? There's a series, I know, I think it was very interesting. The Vikings, you know, at the very end, Ragnar says something about that the gods truly don't exist, right? And the answers that we're searching or that we're looking for, we are afraid to answer ourselves. I think it was very powerful because that character in the series was a very devoted person, right, to the gods, right? Odin, etc. Valhalla, right? And it reminds me of the story of the Freemasons, right? When they go from the degree, there are 33 degrees, right? The last degree for a Mason. And first degree, second degree, 16, 20, and they go on and on and on. And after they go to the last one, right, they reach the top, the peak, right? The triangle, the little one with the eye. So it's an eye opener, right? You're enlightened. And they will tell you, okay, you made it, you're here, okay? Look down. From there, you made it here, okay? And then what's the analogy? What's the catch? Well, they tell you, like, all this time, it was you. It was not God. But we use God as a metaphor to inspire you to be like him or greater, whatever it is. But that doesn't mean you will worship it, right? You will use it to your advantage to go from point A to point B and C, right? Because at the end of the day, men master the world, not God. I'm going to say this again. Men master the world. He has domain of the world, not God. That's why religion, it's powerful. Not because of God. It's not. These people, right, they tell the public that it's God who's making all this possible. But they know it, I know it, and if you know it, it is them that is making it possible. Okay? But for some reason, the nature of manhood, the nature of human beings is that we need a picture, right? We need an image, right? And this is where the word comes follow. And then when you want to follow something, you end up worshiping, right? But unless you're strong in character and in knowledge and thought and action, that if you have an image in your head, a picture that you want to follow, it's not that you're following it, you get inspired, okay? That you know what? I can reach this point. I can be here in this amount of time, okay? And that doesn't mean you're worshiping something. But then, once you make it, you're enlightened and you think, well, hold it, or no. Why are we going to make it easy to people, okay? Because they know the power of this, right? Why are we going to make it easy to people? So let's own our resources. Let's be the master of all the resources of the planet. Gold, gems, oil, okay? Everything that the earth offers, okay? All natural resource. They're owned but a few, okay? But you cannot blame them for everything because they reach a point that they earned it, okay? Because they were not ignorant or stupid as other people, okay? Other people believe whatever they're told to believe, and they don't believe everything they're told, okay? They act like they do, but it's just an action. It's just acting, and that's different, okay? You can act like you're part of something so you can know something. And that's a valid way of life. That's how undercover police, undercover FBI, law enforcement get the bad guys, right? By being one of you. They trick you, right? They behave like they like the things you like. They like to break the law like you do, right? Oh, he's a criminal like me. So then, boom, you believe it. But all this time, right? It was a plan to get you. And that's a strong mind. They know that they have to act a certain way to get what they want, okay? To achieve, accomplish something without becoming that. But it's just an act. That is true mastery, okay? That is true mastery. And this is why people succeed in what they do, okay? Sometimes it's an act. And people are weak-minded and they are very, very, defensive. They take everything personal and they just want to say what they think at the moment. This is what I've learned in life, and I want to share it to the few because I know there's a few people who are struggling with family and they don't know what to do, right? And it's not that I have the answers for everything, okay? But I have some stories that you can relate to what to do, okay? A man, the most wonderful, precious thing that it has is autonomy, okay? This doesn't give you the right to do whatever you want, break the law, just run. Oh, no. It just gives you the right not to be influenced by other people. And this means that you don't worship no God. I don't need a God because I'm already here, okay? If I'm already here in a physical being with a brain, right, and organs, thinking on my own, that means that I don't need a God. And the God doesn't need me, okay? So I'm not one of those guys that say, well, I'm a God itself. I don't really think that's the right approach. I don't use that terminology that I'm a God myself. I don't. I'm a human. I'm a man, right? I have my own brain. I have my own autonomy, and I do the best I do every day, okay? I don't know everything, but I know something. That's called experience, okay? I know that wisdom tooth hurt because I experience it. I know if I do a push-up, 10 push-ups, you get stronger day by day. So there are certain things that you will know by default. You don't have to be a God. You don't have to be worshipped to know something. You just have to live life, right, by your own autonomy. And this is the problem that we have right now. It's not inflation. It's not pedophile. None of that. None. It's religion. A lot of religion codes permit certain things that regular folks will be like, well, that's not legal. But because it's based on a religion code, religion, right? Law, it's valid. Okay? That's the thing. That's the whole point. Okay? You don't have to hate religion. When they invite you to a religion, go hear people. That's what I do. The more knowledge you have about people's religion, the more you know about yourself and about them. Because I met a lot of people that they get defensive, like, you guys are religious, you guys are false, you guys are promoting lies and shit like that, right? You don't have to get defensive, right? You have to play it along. This is what I mean about acting, okay? And people think acting is something easy. It's not. It's difficult, right? Because you only have one goal in mind. I want to know what they're up to. And people, because of low self-esteem, they think that they're going to be judged like they're one of them. You think if I go visit any church and they think, I thought you You know, in your channel or in your book or whatever, in your conversation, you said that religion, it's a lie. And I saw you at this temple. You're a hypocrite, Alex. It's not that I'm a hypocrite. I told you since the beginning of my channel, of my life, that I love knowledge. I pursue knowledge, people's own experiences, right? You worship this God. I'm going to ask you why. Okay? What does this God do to you? Hmm? This is what I was telling these people who was being bombed overseas. Okay? Hmm? Help these people, this people, but they keep worshiping this kind of God who doesn't do nothing for them. Mhm. For me, it's just absurd. Mhm. If I would be in a certain geographical place in this planet, all right, and I was raised with a certain religion, and I'm praying to this God, or gods, or goddesses, whatever. Let's leave it to God. And I'm being bombarded. I'm being, right, murdered day by day, to the point that we're going to be extinct. What kind of God are you worshiping? Okay. Doesn't that tell you the answer? Even if you want to say, you know what, gods are real, okay, let me go with it. They're real, right? But if these gods are not competent, okay, capable, right, they're not empowered to defend you, why will you still worship them? This has been my problem since I was 6 years old to this day. For me, it's just very interesting. Why would I worship? Why would I follow something that doesn't have my back, doesn't defend me, doesn't care about me? Why? Why? I just think that's just the most goofiest thing that a man can do. Okay? Follow, worship a God that doesn't care about him. Why would I do? Okay? I don't get it. For me, in religion and in relationships, is reciprocation. It's a big word. Reciprocation, right? It's a two-way street. It is. How can that be? To have kids, what? You need the female and the male. Right away, I get debunk, okay, any theory about no, it's not real. It is real. To have a kid, you need both genders, okay? Male and female, period. That's reciprocation, right? So yeah, going back to the religion aspect, religion dialogue. To this day, I'm amazed how people are so faithful, right? So sure that that there's a God who defends them, right? Who take care of them. But then in real life, you see it doesn't. And for me, it's very, very bad, right? Very bad. I will not tell my children to follow a religion. I will allow my children to go everywhere and anywhere they want, right? Exposure creates character. Exposure creates experience. Experience is the true currency. Wherever you go, if you're an experienced person, the door's open to you. Okay. I will never tell my children, right, you don't have to follow religion. Matter of fact, I will encourage it, right? Listen, okay? Test it. Test it. When you're hungry, you eat food, right? You're satisfied. You stop eating food. Simple. That's the nature of things. Nature, life, it's not complicated. Religion complicates it more. It complicates it. It does. It does. I don't push my beliefs to nobody, but I like them to be aware. Okay? Because I have people who ask me about my kids. You're going to be that piece of shit. I'm not. I'm going to be go, ask, live. Okay? Go. But life should not be complicated. The harder, the more complicated the ritual, the bigger the crutches, right? If I need to jump upside down, right? Jump around, do certain things to get the attention of a God, I'm already in a failure position, right? It shouldn't be too complicated. When I feel that I want to use the bathroom, I go take a dump. When I feel that I want to take a piss, I go and take a piss. There's no struggle. There's no argument. It's just a natural flow, okay? People might say, Alex, you're fucking crazy that you're fucking putting this analogy with religion. It's the same, right? Because life is simple. Man complicated because of religion, okay? Period. Religion will always be the problem, but once you detect the problem, you have a solution, okay? You use religion to your advantage. I'm gonna wrap it up with this one, okay? Religion is a numbers game, okay? They all say that it's not. I've never met somebody who started a religion. It's only 2 people. He might say it's a religion, but it's not, okay? Religion, coming from the word legion, a Latin word, means number, a military, okay? A big number of men, of power. This is why religion became powerful, because it's not only 1 or 2, 3 people, okay? Religion, we're talking about thousands and millions of people. This is why it becomes powerful. Not because they possess a truth, because it's a numbers game, okay? And always a religion doesn't mean the religion who has more numbers is the one who dominates. Look at the Jews. The Jews, few of them, and look how much are they capable of doing. So that doesn't mean that the more numbers you have, the more people, the more powerful. But it involves people, though. You cannot have a religion if somebody doesn't believe in what you're saying. That's why it's powerful, because it involves people. And if it involves people, there's going to be success. Failure too, but most of the time, success. That's why religion is a successful, right, lifestyle. Because it promotes peoples to believe in something. It gathers people, unites people. Love and hate. It gives you a roller coaster, right? Because it never takes you to the truth. It never will. Religion, its main goal is not to take you to the truth. The main goal of religion is to take you into roller coasters, okay? So you will never make up your mind. Once you make up your mind, there's no more religion.